Hello people, how you doing this evening? I got a couple things I got to get off my chest here. One of them is kind of there's a moral, and it's kind of a hard way for Tim to give me the moral of this story. You see, as we were growing up, my old man, he was on prescription medicine, so we had pill bottles laying around, and the neighbor down the street there, his name is Tim, and he was a little bit mentally challenged, you see. He wasn't quite up to our thinking level when we were 10, 11 years old. You got to remember, we're juveniles. I'm young when this is going on, and I'm experiencing life just like many of you did, doing dumb things. So this kid, he's mentally handicapped. Tim, he lives down the street. And my dad's got these pill bottles, and I got this idea, and me and a couple cohort buddies of mine went to Grandma Straw's rabbit pens and put rabbit turds in my dad's pill bottles. And then we approached Tim, and see, Tim understood that we even understood that he was a little bit mentally challenged. And so I told Tim, I said, "Hey Tim, we know that you're mentally not up to what we are here, but I got these smart pills, and if you eat them, if you eat 2 or 3 of them, it'll make you smarter, and we want you to be smart like us." And so Tim says, he says, "Yeah, I'll try anything to be smart like you guys." And so Tim grabs these 3 would-be pills out of this bottle, and he throws them in his mouth, and I holler at him when he does it. I say, "Chew them up, they'll work faster." And he starts chewing them up, and he's spitting them out, and he says, "Man, them taste like shit." We all started laughing. I think about that now, people, and it wasn't so funny. But there was a moral to that story. Even stupid people aren't too ignorant to learn. Now, I don't know the name of the cat that asked me what I'm going to do should I be stopped by one of these policy enforcement officers. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, but it's going to be a little length out because I've got a couple other things I got going on here that I'm going to be explaining to you. If you go back to the original video of me mailing off my ID to Washington, D.C., you will notice up in that upper left-hand corner, I wrote down denizen, non-belligerent. Look up denizen, people, and look up belligerent. And then remember, you're a non-belligerent denizen. You have the right to exist, people. You don't have to be in their faction corporation. Why do you think they're mandating this federal ID that everyone's got to have, people? I've been putting things together. I don't know what I'm on to or whatever, but when I'm welding there and I see that destruction and solidification of the art going on, a bunch of crazy things enter into my head, and it's making me mad. And I got to get it off my head of what I see with the driver's license, because as of right now, with this information, you know that that document is pure evil. It is as Nazi Germany having to have their documents to move about their country. And what they're doing with the airplanes and stuff, people, do you really look to the person next to you? Do you really need to know who he is? Do you trust him? I do. And if there's a problem, then I'm sure that me and the other level-headed people around, logically thinking, using critical thought, will be able to handle situations as they arise. And so can you. You have that capability within yourself too, people. But now, you ask me what I'm going to say to a policy enforcement officer when he pulls me over. I'm going to explain to him that just that I am a denizen. I am not a citizen of the United States. I do not fall under the corporate laws. I am a free person. I am here by the will of the great creator of the universe to carry out my own will. As long as I trespass on the rights of nobody, I'm free to do my will. And if you don't know what a denizen is, you better research it. People, this is what I'm going to be telling the cop, mind you. He's probably going to be bringing other cops in because they're going to be trying to figure out what a denizen is. Well, a denizen is what the blacks were, the slaves that were black in the Civil, they were classified as denizen. They weren't citizens of the corporation or of the United States at the time, you know, so they were classified as denizens. They were able to be here and being non-belligerent. You're free, people, to live here non-belligerent. You're free to live anywhere you want non-belligerent. Got it? That's not too hard to understand now, is it? Now, as I'm talking to this police officer, I'm also going to be starting to inform him of, I'm going to bring in the Constitution somehow. And then I'm going to bring into, after the Constitution, I'm going to start telling him how the Constitution's a fraud and it wasn't signed by anybody in reality. It was signed in witness thereof. And then I'm going to bring into the fact that the colonies never won the war. You've been disillusioned by the same controllers who have been disillusioning the entire world, or illusioning, or whatever. They've been running this facade on everybody because nobody's questioned it, see? But so I'm going to go that route with this officer when he's got me pulled over there. And regardless of what happens, he's either going to be so dumbfounded by the time I'm done explaining to him the corruption in government and the right of the free will of man that he's probably going to be letting me go because he's going to be left speechless. And I'm going to keep addressing the positives of life and the benefits of being productive and doing the right thing. I'm going to make this man understand. And if I can't do that and he hauls me to jail, they're not fingerprinting me, people. I'm a denizen of this country. I'm not a citizen of the United States. I don't fall under corporate law. I fall under common law. Look into it. Bill Thornton is a good place to start. William Thornton, Bill Thornton. I learned a lot from him, and you will too. In fact, I'm probably due for a re-education with Bill Thornton, and every one of you need to do this. People, that driver's license is documentation, Nazi Germany all over again. They've registered your guns. What don't you see? Okay, now, anyway, they hauled me to jail now, and I'm in jail. Hopefully I make bond and I don't have to be incarcerated when this next viewing in front of the judge. But when I'm in jail, when they first take me there, I'm going to demand to see the judge immediately. I'm not going to submit to no fingerprints. I'm not giving him my name. I'm going to tell him my name is Brian. When they ask me my last name, I'm going to tell them it's another goddamn business. I'm a denizen of the United States, and I do not fall under the categorization of a citizen of the United States, and you better look into it. And if you arrest me, you better make goddamn good and sure you're following the Constitution of the law and taking me right straight to a justice of the peace or a judge, because that is the law. And I do know the law. If you want to arrest me, if you do not accuse me of doing a crime, I'm free to go right now. If not, you let me go, cop. That's the point with the cop on the street, and he's either going to let you go. See, I'm rushing around in my head a whole bunch. I told you there's a whole bunch of things that's going to be going on in my mind at the same time. But when I'm approached by the police officer, I'm focused in and I know what I got to do. But right now, see, this is a good rehearsal for me. And if I was driving, it would even be better, because then the driving things, what you guys all talk about driving, it's not driving unless you're being paid. But anyway, that's not here nor there. So I'm going to try to convince this police officer that I'm just a denizen of the United States. People, you need to send them documents to the people. Okay, let me get back to this. I told you I was going to be jumping around. The new identification cards all have a barcode on them, people. And what does that barcode contain? 666. And here's one for you people who follow the Bible. You know how I feel about the Bible and its use of control. But there is prophecy in the Bible. And they say that 666 will be in the head and in the hand. It's your fucking ID, you retards. It's your ID. Send it back to the state. Send them your birth certificate. To all 4 of them establishments I told you. You don't even have to worry about the state you dwell in reality. But you do need to hit the 3 points of the triangle of power, which is the Vatican at Vatican City, and it's the Crown in London City, and it's Washington, D.C., the White House. Them 3 places have to get your birth certificate. They will know the gig is up. I don't know how else to emphasize this, people. I can't do this by myself. You've seen me do it. Look, it's not for me. It's for you to get your dignity and your respect, self-respect, and freedom back. People, if you do not apply the principles of a possible peaceful solution, and this tyranny and oppression continues to increase to where the man has more to fear from the tyranny and oppression than they do to the resistance of it, there's going to be a violent revolution, people. You better get ready for it. And none of you are. You think you are. Excuse me, people, I'm going to try to stop saying all of you and none of you, because there are people who are alert and aware of what's going on around them. And there's those other people who are just willfully, blatantly stupid. And I'm going to coin them idiots. They're zombie fucks, is what they are. Nothing but a zombie fuck. The shit's going on in front of their face and they're walking around with their, looking at their iPhone. Looking at their fucking smartphone. That smartphone is making you stupid, people. Do you even know any of your phone numbers at your parents' house? No, you don't. You don't know none of your friends' phone numbers. You know it's push this button on this smartphone. Yeah, you're real fucking smart. Excuse the F-bomb. I'm trying to get away from them too. But every now and again, Mr. Miner has the will of the great creator overwhelm him, and the great creator says to use that F-word, and that's what I'm going to use. You all have the same power I have. You just have to assert it. Show that you are a dominant person. That you are sovereign and capable of being accountable for yourself. How many of you are willing to join me in a march on Washington, D.C. this April, if Washington, D.C. still exists this April? For real. You think that driver's license was a stunt? What do you think they're going to think when they've already received all these goddamn driver's license and their documents? Send them their goddamn documents, people! What don't you get? And then we start showing up in April about tax time, right at fucking Washington, demanding them to relinquish the White House to the power of the people. Do you think the military don't know what's going on? Do you think they don't see the skies being poisoned with the chemtrails? Do you think the people in the military don't know that there's fluoride in the water? Do you think they don't know that there's GMOs in the food we eat? People, everyone knows the gig is up. It's a matter of, are you going to let it continue to deteriorate into the extinction of humanity as we know it, and just let these rogue fucks who think they control this planet live free while we all perish? Please, people, give me a hand. I give you the power and the knowledge and the wisdom of what to do to straighten this entire world up. We can straighten it up real fast right now. I guarantee you, if 5 million documents of personal ownership, be it a driver's license, a birth certificate, a social security card, any of them documents that they demand you to have to exist. People, do you need a fucking document to exist? Don't you know you're alive without it? You don't need that. Look at the man beside you. He has not done you no harm, and more than likely he is not going to do you no harm. The only ones that's going to do you any harm is those who are pretending to fucking protect you, and they're harming you. They're creating the entities that are imposing the fear into your minds and making you beg for protection. And the truth is, the only thing you need protection from is them. See? Now I lost where I was going with the judge. Now I'm back there. Now when I get brought before the judge, regardless, when that judge starts asking me if I understand, I'm going to take command of that situation right off the bat, and I'm going to say, excuse me, let me inform you of something right here. I'm right here before you by the will of the great creator of this universe. His will is my will. And I'm here to tell you something. And I'm hoping this is going to be in a public court, people. Judges cower at me. I'm telling you. I do not bow down to them. They are nobodies to me. They're fucking clowns in gowns up there pretending to be better than you. Every one of your convictions, people, is money in their retirement. Why do you think they want you to go in there and just plead guilty? Because you're paying their retirement too. Anyway, so this judge, I'm going to take control of it right away. And when he starts asking me if I understand, no. Do you understand me, dude? And I'm going to call him a dude. I'm not going to call him judge. I need to call him your honor. You can ask anybody I know. Anybody who's been in court with me. I talk how I will talk. You can't shut me up. Look at how I talk here. Look it. I'm trying to relinquish my true expression of the F-bomb and stuff. But normally I am quite, and when I'm in front of the judge, I am very professional, and I am very courteous, and I am polite, direct, and under control. They've hoodwinked me. I've got it figured out now, and they'll never convict me of anything should I actually kill somebody who denies me my granddaughter. But that's not here nor there. That'll only happen after the collapse, when I know that the government won't come after me for doing what is right. Christian Ube. Anyway, no, I can't do that. That's my granddaughter's father. But I'm going to beat the fuck out of him, I'm telling you what. He's denied me her for 3 years due to the courts. See, people, I have been in court a lot. From the family courts to the criminal courts to the traffic courts. I've been in them all. And there's one thing about the courts. Every time you go into a court, you look around and you'll see 3 or 4 or 5 courts going, and they all have 50 or 60 people in them. And everybody's going in there and pleading guilty. You know what? Every one of them fines is generally on the around here at Benton County. If you have a criminal charge and you plead guilty to it, you'll have 30 people in there pleading guilty. The minimum charge they hit you for is $1,000 in this town, buddy. That's $30,000 in the morning in one courtroom. They got 2 or 3 of them courtrooms going. You see the money? You see the money trail flowing now, and you're going in and you're just giving it to them by pleading guilty. Don't do it. Fight them tooth and nail. Get this word out on the. You're becoming a victim. You're making your fellow man a victim to the state by not standing up and not showing your true color. And when I say your true color, I mean your true color of humanity. Because there ain't none of you that are better than me, and I ain't better than none of you. We're all humans on this same place right here. And you don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is. But to me, it's home. Now, when we get back to the judge here, I'm going to go to that judge when I told you I'm jumping around. I'm in front of the judge, and he's demanding, I am going to demand to see the verified criminal complaint. Gentlemen, ladies, a verified criminal complaint. A speeding ticket is not a verified criminal complaint. None of their tickets are verified criminal complaints. The prosecutor's sitting right there. He cannot sign a verified criminal complaint because the only thing he has is a piece of paper that says that you did something, but he was not there to verify it, so they cannot present a verified criminal complaint. Demand from that clown in a gown up there. Tell him that you are a denizen of the United States and you do not fall under the ordinances of the corporation of the USA. You got to think, people. There ain't nobody gonna come and save us. You have to save yourself. And as you save yourself, I'll tell you what, when I put that driver's license, and it wasn't even a driver's license, people, they forbade me to drive. Yet they expect me to survive and to pay their tickets. You see the madness of it all right there? They want me to pay. There for a while I was paying $230 a month to Benton County to keep my ass out of jail. Working. Traveling to work every day. Looking over my shoulder, wondering if I was going to get pulled over. Not fearing, just hoping it didn't happen. I don't fear jail, and neither should you. You know who's in jail, people? Another one of your brothers. Why? Because he was traveling down the street to get a gallon of milk because his kids were hungry or thirsty and he didn't have a driver's license. Now they're charging him $1,000. Really, people? Really? You're going to continue to allow these same people who are poisoning you? 1,200 American lives were lost to the policy enforcement officer brutality last year, people. It's in your face. They're laughing at you. And I'm telling you why they're too. They're their protectors. They're not going to punish the protectors. It'd be like me fucking kicking my bodyguard in the balls. You know what I mean? They're not going to, and no one's going to save us but ourselves, people. Look in the mirror. You're responsible for saving yourself. And while you're looking in that mirror, you ask yourself one big question. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And think about it for a minute. And then ask yourself another question. What am I going to do so great in my life that makes me live in the future, in the minds of the people who are living in the future? Keeping you alive, people. Read antiquity. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I was a drunk for 30 years. Heavy drunk. Had my grandchildren, straightened up, started paying attention to everything going around. And look out, people. The beast is alive, but this beast is the good beast. He's the one that's going to carry you people. I'm giving you the courage. I already did it. I showed you. People, send your documentation back to the machine. Anyway, I'm stopping right there. I think I've used enough of your time. Have a nice evening, folks. Thanks for tuning in.